Now, usually, when this day is kind of really heavy and it's rainy and foggy and it's completely out of the order to feel in this way, especially one of the worst days possible, or it can be the best day possible, it's always up to the person. In this case, the context. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode, and today I'm going to cover the feeling of not feeling good enough. Now, especially when it comes to the prejudgment of the people when you're in that down period when you're not feeling good enough or you don't want to go to the gym, as my close friend kind of posted yesterday. Shout out to her when she said I don't feel like going to the gym, and she find the motivation to do it. And it's not just about the gym, it's about any projects or dreams or achievements you have in mind and you kind of don't feel that you're good enough and you kind of want to create or to have or to be given this perfect moment. So let me tell you about this. The perfect moment is usually an illusion of human mind, so there is no such thing as a perfect moment. So usually what boils down to is when it comes to the perfect moments themselves, it means usually that everything that brought you to this situation, XYZ, doesn't fucking matter, but it actually brought you in kind of when you're feeling with your close friends and when you kind of feel fulfilled from within inside on the soul part or the inner part, the turmoil, the most famous one. You kind of feel that you accomplished this video game achievement and you're kind of happy and you're feeling happy about doing this, about this in general. But I want you to take a closer look at yourself. So see how many times you failed and you still get back up and decided to move on and go forward and to decide with whichever you had going in your mind. So in this case, the context, you have to understand that for whichever reason you're kind of considering to give up, please, it's not just about giving up, it's about what brought you to the dance in the first place. So what I mean by that is that you've worked everything hard and I know you're kind of feeling sad and not in the mood for anything in general, and that's perfectly fine. It's okay sometimes in life to just chill down and not do anything and just recharge mentally before you're able to make to a new conquest. So the problem is that in this case, the context, you have to really get over. Even the day itself is not to your advantage. The traffic jam, the people jams everywhere in the city or in general, wherever you fucking go, the people are going to be there. So irregardless of the feeling, of the mood, of the weather, of the rain, of anything, you should go forward and finish what you started. Because sometimes it's kind of a bad luck to leave it at that, even when you were given a really solid chance to do so and to do something. And if you kind of let down for yourself, you should finish it and then head back home. Imagine if you're not feeling today, you can actually do like 50% of your home task, recharge, and then finish the other 50%. And rest assured, you're gonna feel hell of a fuck of a much better once you finish the obligations that you had. I want to say something else. Finish obligations and then to finish that final moment of clarity in which you kind of look yourself in the mirror, thank yourself for being alive and existing, and kind of telling to yourself that you deserve it and that you had to do a lot of things in life before you got to this moment in life. So when you're probably thinking, if you're driving somewhere or if you're eating or whatever the fuck you're currently doing, remember, this is not like fucking motivational bullshit message. I'm just telling you in general that sometimes when you're not enough, take a look of other people that had it also as difficult as you. I'm not saying that we should compare circles of hell amongst ourselves. That's a completely another topic and we shouldn't do that. But I'm telling to you that you shouldn't just fucking say I quit and do something else and kind of feel that you want to give up. But it's not about, it's about what have you brought to the table, to the dance, to your ideology, to your beliefs, in which you're kind of saying, man, I shouldn't fucking give up, man, because you've made and built everything for this moment to be and to appear and to exist. So that's the catch-22. So you have to, in life, when you're not even feeling, you have to throw yourself over the edge. Metaphorically and figuratively. I don't want you to take literally people to troll me, to bore me in the comments. Now the point is that whenever you're kind of feeling sad and you kind of don't want to do it, you have to see the bigger picture, that it's like a steps by steps and baskets to the mountain before you can make a real mountain. As much as kind of not feeling, so you can just turn off your cell phone, what I mean by turning cell phone, like internet, and not just like feeling to speak with people at all. I have that feeling, I know that feeling, and I've been there XY times. Now the problem is that it's not just about giving up the project. You have to remember, why did you start your project in the first place? To prove something to the people, to tell people, hey, I've got something going on, here is this XYZ, please support me. It's not that difficult. It's just your mind that's blocking you, because you're kind of, when you're having those inner turmoils amongst yourselves and you're kind of going, listening to that voice in your head with the judgment. Listen, man, girl, there are only two genders. I'm sorry, liberals. You have to understand that in this context, people will always going to judge you, no matter fucking what, how long you have existed on this planet Earth. They will always do that, and it's not those people that are paying you bills. You have to see, for people that we have to do projects and stuff and things of what nature, not, those people are just a background noise on your computer, so they don't matter. It's you who matters. You know why? Because you gave your sweat and blood and tears, and you went to gym even though you fucking hated yourself, and it took you long enough, and you've been through hell, and you cried and you broke in tears and stuff whatnot. But that's all part of the process. You have to grow as a person, you know, hurting as the character development that God gives us way too many times. But you have to figure out for yourself in which the situations themselves are usually never perfect. And about these people in general, so I know you have this illusion that those people in you should be like a slave of people's opinion and perception, but you shouldn't never be that in the first place. You know why? It's because they're illusions at the end of the day. I'll give you an example of the city called New York. Now in New York, given that I'm from Sorabendia, people don't give a fuck what you do, what you say, or what you exist. They just living in the jungle itself, because New York is like Belgrade times 15,000 times, and even worse than Belgrade, because there are a lot of people and it's a hell of a fuck bigger city. But I'm trying to make is this: imagine yourself living in New York for a single solitary second of your life existence. Imagine living in New York and you're kind of tripping to yourself, what will people say? The people in New York never gave a fuck and never probably give a fuck about you, because they already seen way too many people way too many times saying way too many random stuff. So if you think people care about you, they don't actually. If you've gone to the parties, if you've gone to coffee shops, especially taverns, restaurants, people look out for themselves. You're just a bypass standard in their lives. So don't think that kind of care. And even if they see you doing something awkward or whatever the fuck you think in your head that you're doing awkward, that moment it's just going to last 5 to 10, 15 seconds at best, and it's going to go away. You know, because you have to understand that when it comes to the people perception, they seldom think of you. That also includes your friends, your former friends, and those people in general. They seldom use the red marker to circle the word. Seldom think of you, my friend, and it's a harsh truth. So people in general, your close people, and outside of your circle, your close circle, the circles themselves, they rarely think of you. And the people in general rarely think of you when you go to the party. Imagine if you've gone to Exit in Novi Sad last year, the year before, and the year before. All those people there only care about themselves and having a good time. It's in their interest. Even if they're a group of people, they still care about having a good time, not if some person is going to pass by and think of, because people still, and luckily, are not telepaths yet. But I feel we're still working on telekinesis, but that's like another story. But the point is, I'm trying to tell you is that in this context, you shouldn't concern yourself with people's perception, because people's perception is an illusion. I mean by that, so imagine if you had, I mean, and probably you've done it XYZ times in life. You've gone to your downtown, in your hometown, if it rhymes. It's rainy. Sometimes it was cats and dogs, and sometimes like a drizzle, and like a Rossi, whatever the fuck. It's a small chunks of rain, but still, what have you noticed in general when it's raining? Especially when it's like a serious rain. What have you noticed in general? And I've noticed too. People don't give a fuck about you when it's raining, especially that. So I'll give an example of that. When it's raining, dude, nobody cares about you, and nobody will ever will. They only care about being safe and protected and running away from the rain. They're not going to think of you. They're going to see you in the peripheral side of their perception. And you're that. In their world, you're a peripheral. So it's not like you're like the main gaze, the main look, the main distraction, the main point. It's about to have to realize that self-confidence comes from being awkward and just carrying yourself. So you have a lot of people, and the people who are going to tell you why you shouldn't do that. It's because the retarded people. I'm talking about those moronic people I've detested, abhorred all my life. It's people who played it safe all their lives and put on a facade. They sit in their coffee shops, they chew on that whatever the fuck is called, and they have the audacity that from their shadows, from their unfulfilled lives, to tell you that you shouldn't do something. Why you should give a clitoris dick fuck about them? It's my rhetorical and philosophical question for 50,000 euros, and the answer is you shouldn't. Because just as I mentioned a couple of seconds ago, you really are going to allow yourself to the NPC people who haven't done anything brashish or crazy in their lives. Now think about it, all those people that you're kind of going in your life and you're kind of saying to yourself, what if XY says? Dude, you shouldn't give a fuck about what XYZ says, because you're not criteria for them. So they are criteria in their own fictional mind. So those people they shouldn't exist in your circle, because they're just there to be a background noise, a distraction, anything in between of those lines of semantics and grammar. They're just there to be a distraction, like NPC characters in GTA, Oblivion, Skyrim, whatever the fuck, any games you played in your life. They're just there to annoy you, they're just there to waste oxygen, and they're just there to exist and not to do anything spectacular. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you kind of thought, what if XYZ was there to do something phenomenal? People are going to remember and go after him and follow him or her. Not too many times, and the word is still, I just gave you a couple of minutes ago, seldom. So they don't think of you. The people that actually do are the losers that think of you, and they want to be in your place. But don't give yourself the pat on the back, like just for the sake of the patting on the back. You have to understand that when you look at those people that are just trying to bring you down and tell you that you shouldn't make it, it's those people that be living the same lives over and over and over. And if you're content with living like them, man, then you have to really bitch slap yourself in the mirror and give yourself like a real serious pep talk. You have to give yourself thinking, man, why the fuck should I be like him or like her, who haven't done like any singular fucker shit that people themselves in your own hometown or outside of your hometown in other countries or states are gonna think or talk about her? Not even in the fucking slightest and the remotest. It's about you have to keep yourself in your image, and everything that you do is going to lead you to that moment. You really give a fuck about some random losers who are in your hometown that haven't. The best thing they ever did was peak in high school and disappeared into some obscurity, shadows of irrelevancy very, very long fucking time ago. And the only reason they picked in high school is because they surrounded themselves with yes men and they gave them that pep talk and they boosted them. So that's why they managed to, in the first place. But once they've gone to university, let's say for the sake of the argument, let's say they are rich and they went to university after high school, after their peak in high school, and they vanished. You know why? Because they weren't surrounded with yes men. They were surrounded with the fuck of a lot of different people, different backgrounds, different identities, different perceptions, and different all of that. Do you think they cared? I'm talking about people talking about those losers from your hometown. Do you think they will give a singular fuck about them? Not even fucking at all. They don't exist in their peripheral or their direct line of sight. So what I'm saying to you is, when you're not feeling good enough, imagine how they're feeling, those people who told you that you're not going to make it, that you're not going to do singular fuck ton of shit in your life, and yet you did it no matter what they say. So the people that I just keep mentioning for the past couple of minutes are the exact same people. Listen to this very carefully. Listen, those exact same people that have told you shouldn't make it, once you do, they're just going to extend their hands and they say they always believed in you. Everybody knows that in Sorabendia, it's the witch's circle of repentance, of the over and over. When they push you in the mud and you go out of the mud and you succeed, the same people who told you never gonna make it are gonna tell you that they believed in you in making it. So I know you're going to say make it make sense, but sometimes life, it's not about making sense. It's about making steps and progress while nothing else makes sense in the first place. So don't give yourself this sad perception of yourself because you've busted your ass and it took you years and years and a lot to come to this position where you are. And don't stand just in the mirror and be like a retarded and say, gee man, I should drop everything and fucking quit. No man, you've just begun on your journey. You fight well, but we've only begun. That should be the motto in your life. When the life itself and God, when you're fighting and you're throwing hands and jabs and uppercuts and crochet and left and right and up and down, the life itself as the entity, when you even gracefully like scale life even by 1%, the life itself is going to grab your hands and it's going to look at you smiling like in the horror movie Smile. It's going to look at you directly in the eyes and he's going to say to you, you fight well, but we've only begun. So that's the point of life, and the entire point is from my favorite game, Neverwinter. You can go try it out; it's for free. I'm currently enjoying my life and playing Neverwinter because I fucking love that game. Shout out to the makers of Neverwinter. But anyway, the life itself and the God itself sometimes is going to toss you into the fire of that cauldron of adversaries and all the things that's against you. And when it's boiling you, the God itself and the life itself are going to say one of my favorite lines from the Cabal guy in the Neverwinter. You fight well, but we've only begun. Which is like a beautiful thing when kind of resembles of life. When you kind of thinking you've met the final boss, that's not even the final boss itself. It's somebody XYZ. Now, before I finish my video, because it's already coming to its point, when you remember those words. When you think you had it all figured out, the life itself is going to show up, teleport, knock you out on your ass, and it's going to say, you fight well, but we've only begun. So imagine so many boss fights in your life, and you want to give up after the first obstacle or after several obstacles. Dude, girl, you don't understand life concept as well. So you have to try and try and try. Life knocks you the fuck out, you stand up. Life knocks you the fuck out, you stand up. Life knocks you the fuck out, you stand up, and you fight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to the channel. Blade Runner 2147. Stefan Heller, Mr. Cat, thank you so much for coming to the channel. Now I'll be posting a couple of videos on Friday. This one is on for Thursday. Since this will be coming out on Thursday 8 p.m. Tomorrow on Friday 7 and 8 p.m. 2 new videos will be coming out very soon. Until then, believe in Christ. Christ is King. Become straight edge and fuck what people think. And just pet the cats, pet the dogs, love animals. Meow meow. Heller out. Until next time, bitches.